and gentlemen, is the national anthem.
Save the Queen.
Prime Minister Boris Johnson released a statement earlier
We should have been stood on the steps of Downing Street.
Was the right and democratic thing to do because the EU had evolved in a direction which no longer suited the UK. Mr Johnson says that Britain's departure is potentially a moment of real national renewal and change, but he acknowledges that many people feel a sense of anxiety and loss.
He says in the statement tonight, we are leaving the European Union. This is not an end, but a beginning. I know that we will succeed. We have obeyed the people. We have taken back the tools of self-government. We have taken back the tools, and now is the time to use those tools to unleash the full potential of this brilliant country. Nigel Farage is in Westminster this evening on Parliament Square. He's been addressing the crowds, and watching for us has been Geeta Gurumurthy. Geeta.
Thanks very much indeed. Well, the crowd is starting to disperse. They started to move away immediately after 11 o'clock. You saw that celebration here. People have come from far and wide, and of course some are still here. There's big police presence. I'm just wondering, looking at a bunch of officers walking just behind the camera here. There might be some fireworks going off, some firecrackers that have been set off here in Parliament Square, which you might be able to see in here, which shouldn't be happening, of course. But I'm joined now by two people who've come to celebrate Brexit, both East Londoners, Stacey and Tracy, mother-in-law and daughter-in-law. What does it mean to you, Stacey?
Well, it means ruling our own country again and having our say over what goes on here instead of being ruled by an EU state.
And for you, what does tonight mean? We've just left the EU.
We have, and it's amazing. It's what we've been waiting for 4 years. It means we get our country back, we get our sovereignty back.
What does that actually mean in practical terms? What do you mean?
Well, the country's ours again, and we can have a lot more say, a lot more rule to what happens in it.
Over which rules?
Our court laws will be changing to ours, so we have what say goes on in this country. So human rights and everything will be turned into our laws, and we will have the right to, well, our courts will have the right to say what goes on instead of Germany.
Does your daily life change as of now, do you think?
No.
No, I think it'll just carry on as it does, but hopefully better. And knowing that we finally left the EU, which is what we've been fighting for a long time, but hopefully it might get a lot more people together. Hopefully a lot more people will come together over this. And
why would they come together when half the country passionately didn't want this?
I don't know. I mean, I don't understand why they wanted to remain, and I can't understand why they fought us so hard to stay, and why we had to have another election for us to win again.
Do you trust Boris Johnson to deliver the kind of Brexit that you want?
I'm going to put my trust in Boris Johnson at the moment. For the minute. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I believe what he says, and I believe he wants to do the right thing, but whether he does it or not is going to be a different story.
What have you felt about the atmosphere here tonight?
It's been a great atmosphere. Everyone just wants to have fun and get along. And then, obviously, you know, some people, they just don't like that we've left, but they're just going to have to get over it.
If you look ahead to the next couple of years, what will Brexit success look like to you? How will it feel? How will you think, okay, that was worth it, that was good?
I think it'll help the country. I think there'll be a lot more jobs available for people now. And we'll have a lot more control of our waters and everything, which is going to be really amazing.
What will success look like to you?
We'll have control of our own fisheries, we'll have control of our own laws, we'll have control of who comes here. I mean, the people that really need to be in this country will be here. And that's what I believe.
Stacey and Tracy, many thanks indeed for joining us tonight and for staying on. Thanks very much. The crowd is breaking up here, but this, of course, was a crowd of people who passionately wanted Brexit to happen.
Gita, thank you very much. Thank you for watching those events for us this evening, and thank you to your guests as well. Let's cross over to Brussels. Ros Atkins has been there tonight getting reaction in Europe. What happened at, midnight Europe time? Ros, what was happening there in Brussels?
Well, I was expecting perhaps nothing was going to happen because it's been incredibly low-key. The EU is doing absolutely nothing at all formal to mark this moment. Earlier in the evening, it had taken down a number of different UK flags, including one just a couple of 100 metres behind me. So that was all done and dusted, and I was thinking maybe there won't be anything at all. But actually, you may be able to see there's a group of about, it's dwindling now, there's about a couple of 100 people gathered on the steps there in front of the European Parliament a little bit earlier to wait for the moment. And actually, it was quite an interesting moment because the majority of the people gathered were there to express their regret that Brexit's happened. They started singing Auld Lang Syne as the clock headed towards midnight, and then a smaller group of people, I think British people, who were glad that Brexit has happened, showed up and did a very, very boisterous countdown as everyone else was singing Auld Lang Syne, and then they did a big cheer and they chanted bye, 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 and then they walked off. And it was quite interesting to see these two groups of people who fundamentally disagree on this issue basically carrying on regardless of each other. They were basically ignoring each other, one group singing, one group chanting, and that's how they marked it. But in terms of formalities, nothing at all. I do have something to show you though, Christian and Cassie. I've got some of the Belgian front pages which you might be interested to see. So here's La Libre, which is saying, I don't know if you can see this here, it says goodbye, and it's got a picture of the Queen waving, although this story is not particularly to do with the Queen, but they've gone for that, and it's got a big supplement just about Brexit, and it says Le Grand Départ vers l'Inconnu, as in the big departure into the unknown, and they've got Boris Johnson in a teacup sailing off and waving goodbye to Angela Merkel, Emmanuel Macron, and so on. And then this is Politico. I'll try and show you here in the wind, but they have a piece of red divided in two with Boris Johnson on one side and all the EU leaders on the other. So it's a big story here, of course a big story all over the European Union, because the nature of this bloc is very important to these individual member states, and the departure of one of the big beasts of the EU is of huge significance, however much this evening the European Union is trying not to make it into a big deal.
Okay, Ros, thank you very much for us in Brussels.